Is rosemary oil the key to hair growth? I'm a board-certified dermatologist, and in today's video, we're going to find out. Plus, I'm going to review for you all the TikTok famous My Rosemary Mint Scalp and Hair Strengthening Oil. Rosemary oil for hair growth is a highly searched topic right now. Rosemary is a medicinal plant that's chock full of a variety of compounds that are antioxidants, anti-inflammatory, and have antimicrobial effects. The antioxidants in rosemary oil may help ward off oxidative stress that weakens the hair follicle. One area of interest when it comes to the compounds in rosemary oil is that certain aspects of it may help in relaxing the blood vessels, allowing for improved blood flow to the scalp and to the hair follicle. Now, this is important because it's going to bring in nutrients and growth factors that can help with the health of the hair follicle, and ultimately that's going to support healthy hair growth if it works. Furthermore, rosemary oil is a natural source of the compound camphor, which is something that actually can lead to increased blood flow when applied to the skin. If you've ever applied Vicks Vapo Rub to your skin or Tiger Balm, you know, it kind of gets a sensation of warmth, tingling. That's because of the hyperemic or enhanced blood flow effects of camphor. Of course, camphor can be irritating and is a relatively common allergen, as a word of warning. Rosemary oil is also nourishing and conditioning, so it can help the hair appear and feel softer, smoother, shinier, and glossier. But does rosemary oil actually work to promote hair growth? We have very limited research to actually answer that question. Apply the medication minoxidil 2% to the scalp twice a day. And at the end of the study, both groups showed an improvement in the hair count. Although both did develop side effects of dryness, irritation, the rosemary oil group overall had less itch in comparison to the minoxidil group. This study isn't like the most robust thing on the planet. It has limitations. If you're not familiar, minoxidil is an FDA-approved treatment for androgenetic alopecia. It comes in 2% strength and 5% strength. When it comes to treating men with androgenetic alopecia, 5% minoxidil is superior to 2%. 2% can be pretty weak and ineffective in many people. So I would have much rather seen this study compare rosemary oil to 5% minoxidil in these men. The other issue here is they're only looking out to 6 months, and they don't take into account that in the beginning, when you are starting minoxidil, you tend to have more hair shedding. That's because minoxidil is reorienting the hair cycle around, so they didn't really account for that period of increased shedding. So you might see that with time, the 2% minoxidil group, maybe it actually outdoes rosemary oil, and they simply didn't look long enough. What type of rosemary oil did they use? They took rosemary oil and they standardized it to have at least 3.7 milligrams of 1,8-cineol per ml. That's important because, you know, you might go out and buy a product with rosemary oil in it and you have no idea to what extent you're getting these compounds that allegedly have benefit for the scalp. So something to keep in mind. I'm not saying that rosemary oil that you buy in a hair care product would be completely useless, but it's not standardized in terms of this concentration, so you may be getting a very low amount. So if you are interested in pursuing rosemary oil for hair growth, I would tell you this: the research to support rosemary oil for hair growth is pretty limited. Is there any harm to using rosemary oil? The biggest risk to using rosemary oil to your scalp is going to be scalp irritation, a contact dermatitis developing. Of course, you can develop irritation, contact dermatitis to any ingredient that you use on the scalp, including the stuff that we know works, minoxidil. That's one of the most common side effects. Overall, rosemary oil might actually be less irritating than minoxidil, but it's still a risk and something to bear in mind. And in my opinion,